she is. You guys have the best Abbies, but you should, of course. We're live, but I'm going to give us just a couple more minutes to get everybody here because I know you guys are a popular event. I'm going to try to talk a little bit more slowly because we do have a transcriptionist that's helping us today, and I don't want to drive them crazy. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Okay, well, let's get started. Welcome, everyone, to our first Above the Book of the conference. We hope everyone's having a great time. We are ever so pleased to have Grumpity, Patch, Callie, and Kyle Linden joining us today to talk about the latest updates that will impact the educational community in Second Life. It's always such a treat to have you guys join us. Thank you for being here. To give you a sense of our audience and so who you're talking to, if you're in the audience, please share briefly where you are from and why you are at VWBPE. Are you an educator, a student, just interested in education, a lifelong learner? Maybe you just came with your girlfriend. Let's see who our audience is. Oh, you guys are the best. Look at this. We're worldwide and career-wide. I want to give you guys as much time as possible. And I know that our audience is very familiar with you. But just in case you can see their full bios, this link. And please check it out. They're so interesting. So let's get started. I have to say that this past year has been amazing. So much going on. Lots of town meetings. Project Zero is happening. The browser viewer SL mobile going live with all the exciting incentives as well as development continuing. Let's start with the Second Life mobile app, which everybody's interested in. It's so important for our students. Most of us know about it, but if you guys would pretend like we don't, fill us in, please. Where's it going? What's going on? Thank you.
I would be glad to. And please let me know if I need to slow down. I get excited and start talking too fast. We have been working on mobile for quite some time. And it's super fun and instantly rewarding because you get to see the results of your efforts in your hot little hand. And That's part of the problem we're trying to solve, of course, is for the phone to not heat up all that much while showing you all the complexity of Second Life. As you can imagine, there are a lot of challenges with showing all the user-generated wonders of Second Life on a mobile device with not a whole lot of RAM available to show all of it. So we've taken this approach from the start where the first thing we really wanted to make sure we can do is actually have it look like Second Life. A lot of efforts have been done by many developers in the past to create a mobile viewer for Second Life, but it never seemed possible to actually have it look like SL, and that's been kind of the longest pull. So we set out to first say, will my avatar look like my avatar? And most of them, but not all of them, kind of do now, although there are ever more complexities to address, and every release, part of the work that we do is to fix some more avatar issues, because there are so many ways that Second Life avatars can be made. Then we said, okay, what are the first things you will want to do on this mobile app once you have a window into Second Life? What are the things you can do with the functionality? And we've started defining these user journeys. And a user journey we spent a fair amount of time on, we called Go to a Club. Now, obviously, it's not just going to a club. It encompasses a bunch of things you may want to do, like log in, see your friends, find an event, go to that event, listen to music, interact with objects, pay a tip jar, see your balance, etc. At the same time, there was so much pent-up demand for the mobile app that while we really wanted to go slow and not put it out because there's so many expectations for it, it was quite clear that we needed to open it up to everyone. And as soon as we opened it up to everyone, we started having new people coming in, because there's a lot of people out there who have heard of Second Life and want to try it, but don't have a desktop computer to do it on. And so we said, oh my God, all these new people are coming in. We got to do some things to help them out, because we don't have a lot of information for them. So at the same time, we're trying to address at least some of the basic needs of the new users coming in. So the way we think of the mobile app is it is a companion to your Second Life existence. And we certainly have a goal of having it be a standalone window into Second Life. But there's still a lot of work to do and a lot of functionality to enable, where we could say, oh yeah, you can be in Second Life on mobile all the time. We take a ton of feedback. We follow, and I'm going to say this a lot, we follow all of the feedback on the feedback portal. Like this. We triage all of the incoming bug reports, we triage all of the incoming feature requests several times a week, and we consider those as we build out our roadmap for development. We also have an in-world user group, and I'll drop a link to that calendar in a second. And we talk about both what is on the roadmap and the things we've shipped, and ask for some feedback there as well. We have, a lot of opportunities to talk, and now we also have Discord. So I see a lot of questions coming in. I'm not going to try to address them, but we are excited about the mobile development we're doing. We're also trying to make sure that people can kind of have fun with the mobile app and have a reason to log in every day and check out the new developments. And in fact, we just had a new release yesterday that addressed a ton of the feedback we have been getting. Like, we want easier access to chat. We want to be able to see things in the lobby. and we are already working on the next milestone. Go download the latest app. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. And we really appreciate the feedback portal. I also very much appreciate you kind of defining it as the companion. We do have a lot of folks that are excited about their students being able to use it, and especially on Chromebooks. Do you guys know if it's working on Chromebooks yet? And we've been trying to...
mobile app does not work on a Chromebook to the best of my knowledge. At least we're not testing it on a Chromebook. But our goal is, I'm going to totally segue into the next topic. Our goal is that you will be able to use a fully functional Second Life in the browser on your Chromebook. Soon? I don't know whether the mobile app works on a Chromebook because that hasn't been a goal. It may, but it's going to not have the same interactions, right? Because it is designed for your fingers to navigate.
Completely understand that. Thank you. Though working on tablets and phones is extremely important, and before we move totally to Project Zero and the browser, could you talk about where we're at as far as building is concerned, or if that's even going to be something that's part of mobile? I've heard you talk about it before, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but just we'd love to hear an update about what your thoughts are about.
No problem. We don't expect to ever have like fully functional building on mobile, but we certainly want to enable people to interact with objects and like move them, right? So the functionality that will be there is like resing things out, moving them around, customizing the space. But in terms of like truly content creation, you will always be going to desktop.
That's great to know, and thank you so much. We, as you probably have heard us say over and over, a lot of our instructors use building to help their students teach. As a matter of fact, we had a whole day yesterday at our conference about building and how that it is a enormous tool, a very powerful tool for us, and one of the reasons many of us are in here. So thank you for managing our expectations. And I do have to say that it's been very fun to pop on mobile and chat or answer questions or reach out to somebody. So I've already been enjoying it. And I also enjoyed playing. You guys have used a really effective tool to get people to get in there and use it by having your little competitions or your challenges. And hopefully folks have been able to take advantage of that. It's nice to make a few Linden bucks because I've logged in. So thank you. Right. So let's move on to Project Zero and the browser. Thinker Selby, who is one of our namesakes for our top award here at VWBPE, has not been able to be in World for a while because of his health, but he constantly asks for a browser-based viewer. So please tell us where we are with that.
We are very actively working on that development. We are trying to target several directions at the same time. We both want a browser-based onboarding experience for a new user so that it's easier and there's no download and people just can come in and check out Second Life. And at the same time, we understand that there's also demand from the existing community for a browser-based Second Life access. We're trying to pedal in both directions, but the needs are actually quite different. So, for example, most of the existing Second Life residents may be looking to access Second Life on a third-party viewer, which means we need to build on a third-party viewer. people who have been here for a while want to make sure their settings are set and their savings are set as well, so that their settings are safe from session to session, because otherwise what we hear is, I logged in and I spent the first hour just getting my settings the way I like them, and then my hour was up. And of course, it costs us money to stream Second Life to your device into a browser, and we have to figure out how to make that cost efficient, both in terms of the infrastructure that we use and in terms of, how we can pay for it. We're literally burning money when we stream Second Life into a browser for you. So we're trying to solve all of these problems at once. And I know that people want it all right now. Hopefully we will have more updates soon. We did a test with Firestorm Zero, and that was us streaming Firestorm, and we charged a nominal fee for it. We sold out of packs very quickly, and I know people would like to have more access to this. I just want to acknowledge that it's coming, but it's not immediately coming. We know that you're interested in it, and we're looking to find ways to provide it.
Thank you. Yes. When you're selling out that quickly, it certainly shows that the interest is there for sure. And our educational community is very interested in it. I did see someone talk about the Firestorm Zero, and we have many of our users use Firestorm. Would you like to speak about that, and how's that coming?
So yeah, that was those were the packs that we sold out of, right?
Okay.
We were streaming Firestorm, but of course the issue is that we have to have the infrastructure for everyone to be able to access it at any time they want, and there's some different technical issues for us to solve when we're streaming Firestorm as well. We're planning to do both. We understand that if we want existing users to be able to access Second Life, it's most likely going to be on Firestorm that they want to do it. And we work closely with the Firestorm team to be able to offer that streaming.
Yes, we've watched that. Thank you very much. And totally understand that it costs you and you need to be making things balance out. I was at one of Philip's talks, and it seemed like, but maybe I'm just being overly optimistic, that you are hoping that it will be at no cost at some point. Is that the goal?
I mean, that would be ideal, but I don't know how we can get there. There's probably a way. We're exploring different ways. There's possibly a way to do this where it would be ad supported, where you'd have to watch, for example, some ads. There's probably a future in which some hours could be included with a subscription, but then if you streamed for more than, let's say, a few hours that are included with your subscription, then we would charge you for it. All of this would need to be built out. So. TBD.
For sure, and thank you for your realistic view of that. As you, I'm sure, have heard from us many times, one of the things that is our challenge is our students have old computers often, and a browser would set them free, but adding a cost to that is often prohibitive for our students. So we are very hopeful and also kind of spoiled. Thank you very much for your truthfulness on that. But we are excited for sure. Anything else about Project Zero? I remember seeing Philip talk about some settings. I have a colleague that actually was using the Second Life viewer because she kept crashing on Firestorm, and she was kind of excited about that. And I sent her the video where he had some settings. Is there anything else with Project Zero that we should know about?
I'm not sure. I feel like we've really tried to be super transparent about the things that we're working on, our own costs, our hopes and aspirations about this. I think there's a lot of promise here, and we just, you know, we've moved fast. We try to give people access as fast as possible so that they could give us feedback. And we're not just going off into a cave and working on something for 2 years before we get uh, feedback from the community. But that also means that you get a lot of hurry up and wait from us, and I know that can be frustrating.
Well, honestly, just from my own point of view, and I think I've had a few people share that with me, we're pretty excited that things are moving, and it's okay if they move a little bit slow because we want you to do it well, but it's good to at least be part of it and feel like that things are progressing. So I hope that that feedback is helpful for you, and I hope that's how you're getting from other people. Um, Quite honestly, this past year has been very exciting with all the things that are happening. We're pretty understanding that things take time. So thank you for letting us be a part of it. And a part of it might also be WebRTC. So could you talk about what WebRTC is and where it is with your development?
Wow, I feel like I'm at that one after the other. Um, so WebRTC is a technology that we're moving to for voice services in Second Life. I'm sure we've all struggled with voice here and there, and it is it is going to require us to do kind of a flag day, right? At some point, a region will any region can either be on WebRTC or on the previous system, which is what we use here, which is Vivox. And while we have viewers out that support both, so that when you teleport from region to region, you can continue to use voice. The simulator is either one or the other. In order for us to be able to migrate to WebRTC voice, we got to make sure people are updating their viewers. So one thing all of you could do is update to a new version of whatever viewer you're using. Firestorm supports WebRTC voice since I think last June, maybe before that. And the Second Life viewers, all the recent viewers support WebRTC voice. For sure, we will be able to support those. We are planning, not to tip our hand and then not be able to make the timeline, but we're planning to be able to move over before the end of the second quarter, fingers crossed. And we're actually hoping that by the time that we're moving over to WebRTC with the whole grid, we will have features that are unavailable in Vivox. For example, we will have features that enable, let's say, estate owners or estate managers to do voice moderation, which will be great. And then the sky's the limit, because we've already seen some very early examples of speech to text and text to speech that are possible with WebRTC. And then Carolyn could just relax and listen to this conversation and let the technology take over.
Wow, Grumpity, that's very exciting. Absolutely. We have really, we've seen in other areas where that has just been growing exponentially and so quickly, but it would be a huge help to have voice to speech. Thank you. I'm sorry, voice to text. Marcus asked if WebRTC will expand beyond voice to parcel media audio as well. And while you're thinking about the answer for that, I do feel like that educators use voice more than the regular, or at least when I first came into Second Life, it was mostly text-based. And when I started hanging out with all of our educators, we really feel like that we need to be talking to our students. But it would be good to know if it's going to be parcel media as well.
I'm not sure. Sorry, I apologize. I'm not sure what that means. I think it would be. Oh,
no
yeah,
problem.
I apologize. I don't know how to answer that question. But I do see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I can try and take a stab at that. I think what they were asking is whether the current parcel media, which is now the OpenAL or audio library support, could be replaced entirely with WebRTC. And the short answer is I don't know, but it's certainly something we could explore that would be interesting to have WebRTC run all of the audio. I just don't know what the feasibility of that is right now.
Excellent. Thank you. Marcus is saying Shoutcast is used for parcel media. And he says it has bad latency. So thank you, Kyle. That's helpful for sure. And then Ice Guy said some students are deaf, as are our in-world residents. They can't get around that barrier, so they absolutely need that access. And hopefully you've noticed that we are very committed to being accessible for all kinds of folks. And I know that the lab is supporting of that as well. Shiloh's asking, would it be possible for educators, once they have a teacher or educator subscription, to keep the students in an edu region and focus on a region with WebRTC to perfect it? We had some discussion about a special educator region, and quite honestly, we've worked with Midori with the VWEC to have an educational region mostly for security, so students don't pop over and see zombies and things. But it really isn't necessarily a place where they were talking about Linden homes and those kinds of things. And it's a little off topic, but if you guys would like to address that, it would be great. Has that been considered to have maybe Linden homes, an area where it could be just one particular group of people like educators?
Patch, what do you think? I mean, this seems entirely plausible.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Yeah. I hadn't heard something like this before, so my gears are turning and trying to think through how to, potentially come up with a solution for that. I'd have to put some thought into it. I would say it's possible. We certainly could consider it.
Yeah, it just came up today, actually, and we do, as I said, we have the education region to keep our students kind of safe and not being exposed to a lot of things as they first get in here, but I hadn't thought of that as far as Linden Homes kind of thing either, so that's what we're here for, to bring up new ideas. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, for sure. I would be interested in exploring it more.
So I kind of want to wind down a tiny bit with WebRTC because I do want to express the dependence we have, and Grumpity, you mentioned it. We often struggle with voice. We log out, we log back in, we reset our computers. Sometimes it's a little challenging, and we're very hopeful for WebRTC. Is there anything else that we forgot to, did you like to share about it, or we can move on?
I just wanted to let people know that it's possible to opt into a WebRTC test. So if you wanted the region you own to be on a WebRTC version, it's possible to do so just through a ticket. We can move it over. The big caveat is that it is still experimental and we're doing development, so it may not be super reliable. We run WebRTC on some of the regions where we do our in-world meetings, and sometimes we also have to log in and log out a bunch of times, and sometimes we even give up and not use voice for that meeting. So the future is bright, but right now it's a little beta.
You're real Second Life users, for sure. And someone said for free, I'm assuming they're asking about that WebRTC on their region. It wouldn't be an extra cost. Is that correct?
That's correct. WebRTC is just the underlying voice technology that we will all move to, and we do not charge for voice. It's there's no cost. No, it just is right now. Still a little bit in development. So. You may find bugs.
It's always good to be aware, for sure. I have a couple of groups that we're in that have regions, and we've kind of decided to wait just a little bit. We're used to the problems we're having right now, but we're also brave, so hopefully we'll move over soon. So I'm not very familiar with Combat 2.0. But it might be interesting to some educators. Would you like to talk about it a little bit? I know that it was something that was dropped into my lap that you might have something to share.
Sure, I'm happy to share some about Combat 2. It is an upgrade to what was a very, very old combat interface for Second Life. And one of the immediate drawbacks of the old way was that when you enabled combat in a region, it was very easy for anyone to hit you once and you go to 0 hit points, game over. And that's not fun if you're just constantly losing. So we redesigned it with some of those concerns in mind, and allow region owners to now set thresholds and make it so that you maybe don't take more than 20 hit points of damage at a time. And some of these other types of balancing features to make it more enjoyable, more long-term. There's definitely more details in our wiki. Lots of it is supported by LSL, the Lindens scripting language, so it's a great tool for creators to sink their teeth into. And really, the goal is so that anyone in Second Life, new or veteran, can just kind of go into a region that supports Combat 2, pick up the weapon of choice, and engage in play right away, without having to have additional HUDs or equipment or other things to allow you to participate in the experience.
Excellent. Thank you. And audience, have you guys used this at all? I know that we're really into simulations. The word combat is not necessarily an education word that we often embrace, but we do use simulations, and I need to check into it more to see exactly what it is. It sounds like that is something that might be very helpful and very interesting to some of our students, for sure. I'm looking for questions just to see. Oh, there we go. A super fun video. Thank you, Grumpity. Keeper's asking, he's wondering if we can add a preference click to specialized tools in SL to the build menu, like educators, medical, construction, engineering, game builds.
That's a super interesting idea, and I would direct you to the feedback portal where you could submit a feature request.
Yes, and we need to be reminded of that because that is something that is great to use, and they actually read it, I believe. I need to jump in and do it because we'd like to have the chat as a default open. We've noticed that with our new students that they often just see the chat pop up and it goes away and they don't know how to have it come up. So I need to pop into the feedback portal and make that as a suggestion. Okay, I'm going to skip down just a little bit on my notes because I know this is a very interesting conversation. Our community is very interested in AI integration. Is there any plans? I know that we have the companion AI. Would you guys like to talk about that?
Well, we do have the companion AI. It is kind of a fun toy to play with. We are also experimenting with greeters and other ways to make this useful and safe at the same time. Also, at the last town hall, Philip promised a whole AI-centered town hall, and so we're actually looking at when we can schedule it. So it's going to come up. If you're interested in an AI-focused discussion, it's going to happen. There's also a fair amount of interest internally to build, Primi, the AI assistant that you can talk to that will help you figure out how to dress your avatar and how to find friends, etc. But that is probably more new user oriented than educator oriented. Obviously, this could be helpful for your students to find their way around as well. It is a super exciting field that is going really fast, and we're trying to be thoughtful and respectful as we look at how to harness the different powers that it brings.
Our world as well. It is coming so fast. It's the fire hose of technologies, isn't it?
Indeed.
One of the things that has come up in the educational community as far as AI is concerned, and certainly the AI helper who would help new people, I do want to just say you guys have put a lot of effort into that initial experience as folks are trying to get into Second Life and figure out things, and the Welcome Hub and all kinds of things that you have been doing have been extremely helpful. One of the things that has come up, probably a third of our conference is about AI. We are really trying to get our heads around it and how that we can make it work for our students. I think many people thought the educational community's first reaction to it was that we were afraid of people cheating with it, and it certainly was a common worry, but there is so much with AI that can be positive. There has been quite a bit of conversation about the transparency of an AR avatar. So is there work going on, or have you guys been thinking about how do we know if it's an AI avatar or if it's a person behind the avatar? Has that come up, and what are you guys thinking along those lines? Or is it a worry for you?
I mean, our approach so far has been that a scripted agent is a scripted agent, and AI is a sophisticated scripted agent. Patch, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so we sometimes, see this and support feedback and such too. You know, especially with the newness of it all. We've gotten you know, some folks contacting us about that actual very question is how do I know? And I do think we probably have some work to do on you know, identification, you know, and making sure that you know, the thing you are interacting with and have in front of you, you understand what it is, and you know, promoting that you know, in a good way, you know, will be beneficial in the future.
Great, thank you. That's reassuring to hear, and I'm sure that you guys are as concerned about it as we are. It's not, we're all just getting our heads around this, and it's changing every second. So thank you for that. I'm looking at my notes, and I'm wondering, I think we've talked about interface functionality, but I just want to open that up just a little bit. Are there other things that we haven't mentioned already about for any plans for interface functionality that would be helpful for our educators to know about?
I think I would just like to add that with WebRTC coming, it's such a broadly used protocol that there are a lot of potential other features to be added in conjunction with it. And so this is just another pitch for using feedback.secondlife.com. If you have ideas that you think can enhance Second Life with WebRTC, let us know.
Thank you for that, and I do want to mention that in everywhere we go, we do try to bring that up because a lot of people are using Second Life very robustly, and I think the fact that we can give feedback is very interesting to folks. I did see something in the, Roy said, I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm doing a terrible job about it. So if you guys have a question that we've missed, please restate it. Roy said, so it would be excellent for language translation as well. And I have noticed that one of the folks at Builders Brewery have a HUD that actually translates for the user into the language that they're hearing rather than having someone wear a translation HUD. Is there anything about language translation that you guys are making progress on?
Yeah, speech to text and text to speech are definitely on the roadmap as it relates to WebRTC. It's certainly something we've all been discussing amongst ourselves. It's one more reason for us to eagerly roll out WebRTC.
And of course, once we have text-to-speech and speech-to-text, translation is easy to build in.
Yes, that all makes total sense. So it looks like we're on the precipice of some really interesting things along those lines. I think Keeper just said, make it a preference click. He was the one that was talking about preferences. Yeah, easy is famous last words. Good point.
And Ursasha, I guess, just made a Roblox comment, which is kind of an excellent segue into our SL Lua initiative, which Kyle and I can talk a little bit about. But if you haven't tried it out, we've added a new scripting language in addition to LSL, which you can access and try right now on Aditi. Kyle, when do we plan to promote that? Do you know?
It's still in development, QA, and refinement. I would say no sooner than Q3, but we also see a lot of opportunity here with SLUA, and please get the opt-in alpha viewer that is available now on our release notes page. I'll drop a link here shortly, and try it out on Aditi, as Kali mentioned. We've seen some really interesting creations with it so far.
I think we heard the other day that even in heavy debug mode where it is right now, that it's running 3 times faster than LSL. So we're pretty excited about that offering, and it could be something really useful for the interfaces that you were talking about earlier. We're also looking for more ways to make Second Life more configurable through other programming interfaces in the future. Don't have details we can share on that yet, but we're definitely looking into it.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was absolutely one of our big things on our list. And I think folks are encouraged to know that it's not a replacement, but that it is working well. So stay tuned, everyone. Okay, we are kind of about 5 more minutes. And I know that Second Life birthday is coming up soon. Would you guys like to talk about it a little bit? We're all very excited. I have a lot of people putting in for exhibits. It's always a very interesting and fun thing to take part in.
Sure. Yeah, SL22B, right? It's coming June 20th. It'll run through July 20th. We're really excited. Lots of the application processes have opened. We're seeing a lot of great applications and such coming in, and so we're really excited. It's going to be another really great celebration this year.
Excellent. Thank you, Patch. What is the grand prize? Someone's asking. Is there a grand prize?
Oh, I don't know if we've even made those plans yet. We're still planning even the events themselves.
We're always interested in free stuff, so please excuse us. So as we wind down, anything else on the roadmap? I know that we don't have a marketing person necessarily, but anything else on here today? Anything else on your roadmap that we might be interested in, that might keep us excited? We're already very excited with all the changes and improvements, but anything I forgot to ask about?
I can tease one more thing on the roadmap that's coming sooner than later. This past year or so has seen a lot of forward momentum on GLTF model import, and we took a beat and held our breath and focused on performance and crash rates. And now that those metrics are looking much more healthy again, we are working on a minimum viable product of just GLTF model import. Nothing fancy, no hierarchy yet, and this would import very much the way any DAE file or Collada file imports today. So it's really expanding our model import to 2 file formats now, DAE and GLTF.
Excellent. And I had heard just a little bit about that a few months ago, and I was completely confused, though I do some Blender and Collada stuff. I'm sure our audience knows a lot more about that, but it sounds great. And Helena is one of the best builders here in Second Life. Said nice. And I'm sure that wasn't about Philip's hair on the marketplace.
Yeah, no one needs to wear Philip's hair. I mean, obviously,
Excellent.
other than Philip.
He wears it so well. We don't need to help him.
We've got some additional, on Marketplace, we've got some additional mobile features coming soon, and we plan to prioritize some additional mobile web features in the foreseeable. We are also going to be working on just general speed, stability, making support's lives easier. So those should all indirectly help all of you as well.
Absolutely will. Thank you so much. And I keep seeing something about cornfields, so maybe I'm not up to speed. Is there something about cornfield that I'm not aware of? Oh, Brock is asking, will Colada no longer be supported? I think that's... Oh, okay. Thank you. I think we need to address that. Will Colada no longer be supported?
We will continue to maintain Colada imports as long as it's viable. Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Thank you.
I can tease, since it was brought up,
Please.
that there, and not that this is directly educational related, but because Linden Homes were brought up and discussed, that there's some really big things imminent and about to release very soon. 2 releases, as a matter of fact, and I'll just leave that there with you.
Oh, fun. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for fun new things. I saw the Upside Down homes, and they got a lot of attention.
I was gonna say, we just released.
Update on those.
Yeah, we just released the Topsy Turvy homes a few days ago, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot of attention, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we did put out, for those who were fans of it, we put the Inventory Gremlin and Primi back out at the same location. So if you missed it, on April 1, you can go and pick them up. They're really cute.
They are so cute.
Nice.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Is there anything I forgot to ask you that you want to share with us this last 1 minute we have? Oops, I just lost that 1 minute. So appreciate you coming. It's always a thrill to have you here, and we appreciate you sharing some of the things that are going on. Our educators, I believe, use Second Life very robustly, and our groups are growing as well. It was fun to hear that mobile is bringing in a lot of new folks. We are excited. It happened at COVID, but we're noticing a big influx, that the word is going out. We know that our administrators are often not as supportive as they need to be because they don't understand why would we need a game. But please know we're out there working for that, and we appreciate all the support you give for us. And in that, I want to say that Midori is just fabulous. She is such a huge support for us. And please I want to give her a pat on the back in front of you guys, because she's been fabulous. So thank you again. We really appreciate your time. We know you're busy.
Well, thank you so much. It is always such a pleasure to come to these, and super fun. And we hope to bring you even more news and updates. But you don't have to wait for the Above the Book events. You could also go to user groups and come to our town halls. And, of course, you could also leave feedback in the feedback portal. And have mercy on us. Try to separate your requests into separate tickets if they touch on different topics. Thank you.
I know many of us bump into each other, especially at the town halls, but also the user groups on occasion. Thank you so much. And then the feedback portal. We definitely want to keep using that, everyone. So thank you for those great ideas. So we won't necessarily see you next year. Hopefully we'll see you very soon at many of those things. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.